So somebody committed the crime and then somebody was arrested. What more do you need? Somebody shot JFK and then that guy was arrested. RFK was shot and killed and that other guy was arrested, right? Abraham Lincoln. We learn from Abraham Lincoln that there's always a little conspiracy. There's always a little, it might not have been the Vatican and that might be the Bilderberg Group or the Trilateral Commission. RFK was killed by Sirhan. There's no doubt about it. That Sirhan was at least there shooting. He's an accomplice, he's a part of the thing, or he's a lone nut. But what we learned from Lincoln's assassination is that there's always a small conspiracy. Somebody gave him the gun. Somebody gave him encouragement. Somebody gave him a ride. Somebody gave him some shoes. Somebody gave him a place to stay. A coach or a horse or a barn to sleep in. The lone nut had to have gotten the gun from somebody somewhere. He probably got a ride from somebody too. He also lived and slept at a home, had neighbors, and may have had an associate or two. So just let's focus on three things: the gun, the ride, and the home. Do we know where Sirhan lived? Do we know who gave Sirhan the ride to the place? And do we know where he got the gun from? Where'd you get that gun from, Sirhan, where did you get a ride? How did you get to the Ambassador Hotel? And where were you staying at the time? Have we looked at any of this stuff? Sometimes it seems like it's a clear-cut case that Sirhan was born in Palestine. He was actually a Christian, but he was born in Palestine. There was a big explosion. His brother had got ran over by somebody who was being shot at, and they drove off the side of the road and wound up running over his brother. They immigrated to America when he was like 12 years old. And he says the friend of your enemy is your enemy. So basically, I don't think he liked America at all. It's kind of incredible that the entire family disintegrates. The father leaves. The sister dies early. The two brothers. It was terrible, actually. The whole family basically are devastated. So they're talking about releasing Sirhan. No, Sirhan, you gotta start recollecting some shit. Sirhan. He killed RFK. He was there shooting. Some people said he was like shooting into the crowd. And then the kill shot of RFK is going to be right behind his right ear. Lincoln got shot right behind his left ear. But the reason why that's significant is because somebody had a gun that was pointed right at the back of his head. And they said within an inch. Because you got that dust. You got that gunpowder residue. Powder burn. Let's get exactly what powder burn is. Right? Because you can gunshot residue. When you shoot a gun, there's some kind of powder burn or something that's on your hand. A powder burn is a type of burn caused by exposure to the combustion gases which are expelled from the muzzle of a firearm as it's fired. Powder burns, so that's at the very end, right? The smoking gun, it smokes. So if it's close enough that's hot, it'll singe the skin. So you'll have the bullet hole and then you'll have a little singe around it. Instead of just, if it was from a distance, you would just have the bullet hole and you wouldn't have the burn. A powder burn is a type of burn caused by exposure to the combustion gases that are expelled from the muzzle of a firearm. Powder burns only occur when the individual is in close proximity to the discharging firearm. As the gases quickly dissipate, this could be an indicator on a corpse of whether the person was shot at point blank range or not. Exactly. So that's important because nobody said that Sirhan was there at point blank range. They're saying he's like 3 feet away to the left side. So how'd that kill shot come right there? Now RFK is going to have 2, 3, 4 bullets either in him or that went through him. One like goes through underneath his armpit or something and comes out. Another one's like lodged in his chest. Then you got the kill shot. Then you got a neck shot. So you got a neck bullet. Then you got I don't know where that bullet goes that's shot in his brain. Is it still in his brain? So you had the neck shot, you had the one that was stuck in his chest for some reason, then you had the one that was shot. So he had like 3 or 4 shots. This one I felt like just kind of, it just shot through. I don't know. Maybe if it went through the arm, then that's a shot, right? That's a shot. All that matters because Sirhan's got 8 bullets, right? So he's just sitting there, pow, 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 just kind of spraying. Sees, I'm assuming it's going to be, he sees RFK, starts spraying. Now there's the hypnosis thing. I don't know. There's like a fucking expert that seemed to, I don't believe it. I'm not even going to put any stock in that hypnosis bullshit because, well, in Colorado, we don't accept hypnosis as a testimony. Oh, okay, Sirhan. You were hypnotized, huh? And it's, I don't know. Is it possible? Is it not possible? I think to entertain the fucking thing is to really go down a crazy ass rabbit hole. If that was the case, Sirhan would tell us a lot fucking more. Sirhan, you were there shooting at motherfuckers. Was there another person there shooting with you? Oh, you don't remember bullshit. Fuck you. You don't remember bullshit. He was drunk. He was liquored up. He was pissed off. So the official version, let's go over the official version before we get into the conspiracy. But there's, where did he get the gun from? You don't know where he got the gun from. Where did he get the ride from? You don't know that. And where was he living at the time? You don't know any of these questions. So we can't release him until he tells us the fucking truth. Knock it off with the bullshit. If you're in it, ask him straight up. Were you in a hypnotic trance? Do you think the CIA set you up, you're in a hypnotic trance, and then you executed some other shit? Because the official version is that he's pissed off at Robert Kennedy because he was going to send 50 Phantom jets. 50 bombers. Phantom bombers. Military airplanes. To Israel. And the only thing he could think of is that they were going to use that against Palestine. And so he was a Palestinian, loved Palestine, loved his brother. Comes to America, is having a hell of a time in America, is 24 years old, gets fucking drunk as shit. It's also the 1-year anniversary. The 1-year anniversary of the 67 Arab-Israeli War. So on the day of the 1-year anniversary, on the day that he wins the California primary, Robert Kennedy looks like he's going to become the president. It's just too fucking much for Sirhan. What? It looks like Robert Kennedy is going to become the next president of America. And he's talking about sending 50 bombers to Israel. So, goddamn. Does Palestine even have a fucking chance? Does Palestine even have a chance? I don't even... Is it possible he just got liquored up and then it happened, Ambassador? Because I'm thinking of that one guy, Chad. I know when it was a British guy, and apparently the British guy was at a Trump rally, and the British guy tried to take a gun from a cop, and he was going to shoot at the... he was going to just try some shit right there. He bought the ticket to the rally. There's cops all over the place, so he's going to take a gun from the cop's holster and try to shoot at the speaker. So was that, how intricate of a plan do you really need? So, the reason why I'm only going to halfway think about that hypnosis thing is only because Sirhan, if you were hypnotized, then you would have known the fucking person doing shit to you before the fucking thing, motherfucker. You're hypnotized when they snapped your finger, but until they snapped their fucking finger, you were not hypnotized. And then when they're all choking you, that's when all of a sudden you remember everything that's coming back, and then he was like, he wishes that he was killed because of all this? What are you talking about? You got to live, you fucking prick. So, RFK. Let's take a little break here. They're going to see a diary entry that says RFK must die. RFK must die. Robert Kennedy needs to be assassinated. It's almost too fucking perfect. They got an article in his back pocket, too, of the fucking 50 bombers. So it's like that moment, that day, and then when they ask if he had any Malice aforethought, because there's a difference between first degree and second degree murder. One's knowingly doing it and one's planning on it and deliberating. He said he had 20 years of malice aforethought. 20 years, which corresponds, I would say nearly he was 4 years old. So his brother, I don't know when his brother was killed, but he had 20 years of malice aforethought. He's been pretty angry the whole fucking time. Came from a country, he was getting bombed. His brother got ran the fuck over. Family disintegrated. They're not making it in America. He was in college, but he got kicked out of college. So I'm somewhat inclined to believe that the official version, Sirhan, a Palestinian, was pissed off at RFK for wanting to send 50 Phantom bombers. We still have Palestine-Israel issues today. Now, Sirhan, I say, can be, in some respects, can be released once we've solved Palestine and Israel. But we haven't solved Palestine and Israel yet. So, what are the conspiracies? There's a couple conspiracies. We don't know where, apparently somebody knew where he lived, but where was that? Who was his friends? Who was his associates? Who gave him the gun? Who gave him the ride? We kind of don't know anything. We don't know a goddamn thing. Let's just get those three, before he gets released, let's find those three questions out. The biggest conspiracy is 13 shots in 5 seconds. Somebody has an audio recording of the thing, and I think I heard it, but I couldn't hear anything. 13 shots in 5 seconds. That's a bunch of shots. That's not just a one shooter. Sounds JFK, right? No way Oswald could have shot all those shots. No way Sirhan could have got 13 shots off in 5 seconds. So what does that mean? 13 shots in 5 seconds? That means there's a second shooter. That means somebody else was shooting. Sirhan got drunk. How did he know to go in the kitchen? How did he know to be at the spot? Maybe he was there with 4 other people. There was a woman in a polka dotted dress that's running. She runs by the lady, and the lady says, we shot him. They said, who? We shot Senator Kennedy. And then she was being interrogated for like over an hour, and then eventually just gives up because they were sitting there just pounding on her, and she said, fine. I didn't see any of that. There's also a theory that there's a security guard named Cesar Thane, Eugene Cesar Thane. Not Thaman, not Thomas, but Thane. Not Shane, but Thane. Thane Eugene Caesar. He was a racist piece of shit, and he hated Kennedy. Right-winger. Very, very plausible. Could have been him. He was a security guard. He pulled out his gun. He fired a shot. And then apparently they said that he was tackled or something before he could fire anymore. But we don't really talk much about that. He fired a fucking shot. Where did that shot go? Did he shoot Sirhan? Because he got tackled. Who did he shoot? He fired a shot, but got... So the security guard, I think, is a very good fucking lead. The polka dotted dress, I think, could be just imagination because it just makes you think, like, what the fuck? We didn't even really explore that avenue at all. Maybe it was that she was in a polka dotted dress, shouting that she shot Kennedy. So, I don't think it seems unlikely that he would just randomly get drunk and then run into Kennedy like that. But if he was part of a team of 3 or 4, and they said, just let's go one part of the building, right? North, east, south, east, west, have one person kind of, man each side of the building. He's got to come out of one of the 4 sides of the building, right? That would make more sense. So it looks like it's a copycat political murder, right? It's the Ambassador Hotel. He's 42 years old. RFK is 42. Meaning he was born in 1926. He's going to get killed June 5th, 1968. Actually, it was after midnight, so I think it's going to be June 6th. Sirhan's middle name is Bishara. So Sirhan Bishara Sirhan. So that white, dress, polka dotted white dress, I guess they've had like 12 different. Who was it? It could have been her. It could have been anybody. But apparently she's going out shouting, "We shot him, we shot him, we shot Senator Kennedy." Some of this, it just seems Sirhan had an article of the thing about RFK in his pocket. He's 24, he's getting drunk. I feel like I can kind of see a Palestinian born. He was born in Jerusalem. He was Christian, but I wonder if that sort of, fucks with him too. He was raised Christian. But is that just because they're trying to culturally appropriate? Is that they just ripping out, telling me not to believe in Pope's religion? They're just telling me to believe in their bullshit? 2,400 photographs are missing. So that's another fucking interesting thing too. Could the CIA be behind this too? I think it's totally... RFK Jr. thinks that he says it's obvious that the CIA killed JFK. Well, it's pretty obvious, right? Well, you got the CIA, right? They're behind it. And then I think it's totally possible. There's another interesting part. They said that the bullets that were shot into Kennedy, right? He had one in his neck, one in his head, one that shot through his arm and goes up. One in his neck, one in his head, one that shot underneath his armpit or through his shoulder. And then there was one that was lodged in his chest. So some people say it's 3 shots. He was shot 3 times. Then one that was shot in the neck ends up in the chest, I guess. Or maybe the head shot. Could that fall down? I don't know. Where'd the one in the chest come from? But let's think about that third shot, the one that goes through the armpit. And even the neck shot and the head shot that's coming from the back. If he's on the left side, then he couldn't shoot them from the back. Is it possible Sirhan's trying to shoot at Kennedy and shooting at the crowd at the same time? I think that's possible. Just, wolf pack them and triangulate, right? Just have shots coming from... the trajectory. So, let's just call him Professor X. Is it possible for Professor Green to have kneeled right behind Kennedy, pop, 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 and then ran out to the alley, and then that's when they're shouting that they killed Kennedy? Is it possible for that ace security guard, right? That fucking Thane. Where's that Thane Eugene Caesar at? He was an ace security guard. So he should have pulled out his gun in defense of, right? So in some respects, it's like you wanted him to. Thane Eugene Caesar said they shot him. When they interviewed Thane Eugene Caesar, we got him quoted as, they shot him. They shot him. Not one person shot him. Not Sirhan shot him, but they shot him. Who's they? Was there another person on the scene? Now, one good counter argument, the guy saying that you have all these people at the hotel, the ambassador, he just won the primary, he's going through the kitchen. You got Sirhan, pop, 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 just shooting at everybody. And you're saying that out of all these witnesses, all these people that was all over the place, nobody saw a guy who crouched down, like genuflected, right? Like Colin Kaepernick, and just shot from the ground. The reason why I mention that is because the trajectory of that bullet goes up. He shot underneath the arm, but it comes out the shoulder. They said that the shot in the neck was at a 35-degree trajectory, meaning that it came from downwards. Either they had the gun at hip, right, and they shot him that way, or they were actually down on the ground and they shot him. I think it's possible the CIA could be behind it. Is it possible they just take a patsy and they put a patsy right there, a person who's just going to get arrested, and then have like 3 black bloc shooters, black ops, people just there to insurance, have a couple insurance, shooters, just in case. And even if other fucking weird shit that's happening. $2,400 photographs are missing. 3 rolls of Kodak film, 18 prints are missing, stolen from the dude's car. Scott, the photographer. So there's 3 rolls of Kodak film. This matters because you had bullet holes that was in the roof panels.